Welcome to the show. Now please strap in for the truth and remember the words of the great Tom Cruise.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
Now welcome to Off Topic on Porn.
All right. Well, we are back. Thank you for tuning in to yet another edition of Off Topic on Point. I am Rob, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Russell. Russell, good to have you.
Good to be here.
And well, Russell, it's time to be on point. Our topics range and they vary, but
Yeah.
I think today, we've had a couple of more, and they're always, topics are serious, and we interject humor into anything because that's just who we are. But I think today we had one on the first episode. We didn't on the I don't know that we did on any of the last two where we did the two-parter on the Ted Cruz and
Yes.
the Tucker Carlson. But I think we'll start everybody off today. Why don't we start everybody off with one of the segments we call Rob's Rants, and you get a pick where we talk about, well, where I'll rant on something that's just kind of stuck in my craw. So here are choices. So you get to choose. I always give you choices. So, and for everybody listening, if you really want to hear one, you can comment on. So Russell, you can try to sway Russell for the next time we do Rob's Rants if you really want to hear one, or you can email us at otopnow@gmail.com and try to sway Russell to try to get him to pick your pick if he doesn't. If you really want me rant on one of the things, or you want to hear the story. But again, email us, let us know in the comments, comment, do those kind of things. But Russell, so here's the deal. Here's your choices: old people and self-checkout, lazy-eyed Clancy, city road workers, or Lowe's delivery.
Oh boy, that's not an easy selection.
They're all good stories, and they all got a rant to go with them.
Well, would you mind firing those back at me real quick?
Yeah, here we go. So, old people and self-checkout.
That was from the last time.
Yeah,
The
only
that's a
one
leftover.
that's a lot of these are leftovers. I'll tell you the new one that I've added since.
Okay.
And then so old people and self-checkout, lazy-eyed Clancy and the road work, city road workers. Those are all three from last time. And then the newest one is the Lowe's appliance delivery.
Boy, that's a hard one.
I know.
Let's go with, I'm just morbidly curious about lazy-eyed Clancy. So let's go with that.
Okay. So here's the deal. My family and I, so let me mark this one off so I don't actually give you this choice again. So here's lazy-eyed Clancy. Okay. So the lazy-eyed Clancy story is this: we were on our way to Montana, and we were driving through backwoods Illinois. Now, when I say backwoods Illinois, let me set the stage for you, and I'm sure you remember, and we were on a trip at one point to New York, or from New York, and remember when we got in the backwoods and we thought we were going to hear banjos,
Yes.
We were like Deliverance. Okay, this place was worse than that. Okay, I really expected somebody to jump out in the middle of the road and stop me and go, "You're purdy, you can stop here." I mean, it was really, really bad. I mean, it was really, really bad. Okay, and there was road work that was starting. Okay, there was road work that was starting. Okay, and this place was so, I mean, wow. So then we see the road work beginning, and it's starting, and all of a sudden the line that's in the middle of the road starts to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden we start to see that there's this new pavement. Okay. And the dotted lines that are in the middle of the road.
Yeah. Of course.
All of a sudden we start to look at these dotted lines, and they start, there's one stripe and it's straight. Then you got the next stripe and it's actually straight. Then the third one is crooked and diagonal. And then you get to the next line and that one's okay, that's straight. And then and it's diagonal like to the left, let's say. Then the third, then one after that is straight. Then you got the fourth or fifth one, and it's diagonal, but it's actually diagonally straight the other way toward the right. Then
Wow.
you keep going, and then it's even farther diagonal to the left, and I mean, and this just goes on and on and on. Now we get back to the actual where the roadwork's kind of done, and you can see the old line. It's a solid line.
Okay.
Russell,
All right.
they're about 3 feet to the left. They haven't even made sure that the lines meet up.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm absolutely just like, are you kidding me? How, like, this is impossible because if you think about it, okay, this is the kind of, we don't have people who do excellent work anymore. Okay. How
No.
did the lines get diagonal? It is a machine that goes straight and basically draws a line and keeps moving to the next line. How did they get it diagonal?
I
And
don't know.
and then the next piece of this puzzle, how how did they not know that they weren't lined up with the other stripe that's on the old road?
I have no idea. Where is this? So I'm sure
This
not to
is
drive there.
and it's near. Okay, so this is on the Illinois border, just before you go into uh, Missouri. Okay. Now,
Okay.
the story's not over because I made up this guy and I said, because again, I didn't know who it was and I didn't want to just start making up. Yeah, I'd be like, it's that guy right there on the side of the road. So I just made up lazy-eyed Clancy because that's all I could really think of. It had to be
Okay.
somebody,
Yeah.
who had this. So we made up this character, lazy-eyed Clancy. Well, as we drive through town, Russell, this is where it starts to get, you figure this is how it happens. We see
Okay.
this bar, okay, on one side of the road, okay, across the street, and this is where Lazy Eye Clancy came from in a way, where he got really became a character.
Okay.
You see the bud shop. So I'm thinking Lazy Eye Clancy called in because he was at the bar and his lazy eye was looking at the bud shop across the street. Okay. Then we drive just a little farther through town, Russell, and I think his cousin had an idea for a business. I have never seen this in my life. Okay. I have never seen
Okay.
this in my life. Okay. There is there is a used car lot. Okay. Used car lot. On top of the used car lot sign where you would normally go in and we're driving through, you would, where the the used cars are out on the lot, and then you have the offices.
Right.
Right above that sign, right above there's a sign and it says used car lot, but right above it, it says girls, girls, girls. Somebody
Yeah.
combined the idea of having a used car lot with a strip club. And under it, it says, we finance everyone. Russell, this is what I'm talking about. Lazy eye client. This is the kind of stuff. This is why I'm telling you, this place,
That is crazy.
this is what, and we wonder why America is in the state that it's in. We can't even paint the road. We can't even paint a solid a dashed line on a road, and we've got people coming up with ideas like this. This
Yeah.
is this is what I'm saying. And so honestly, this is the great, like, again, I saw some really cool things when we drove to Montana to Yellowstone on our
Yes.
trip. This is one of the things that makes me understand why we are in the state we are in, because we can't even paint a road. Like, Russell,
Yeah.
it's not brain surgery to paint a road. Okay. It's not
Right.
hard. Like
Right.
you don't need a degree. This isn't like, hey, like there are certain jobs you go, you need a degree. When you go into a court of law and you're arguing finer points of the law, you need to have studied. You need to do that. When you are doing surgery, you better know where the heart is and where it goes and what's going on. Heart surgery, brain surgery, any kind of really surgery. A doctor, you probably need to know what you're doing. You need to study. When you're painting a road, I'm
Yes.
not sure you need a degree for that.
No.
And
That my I guess you say my guess would be that you don't
and
or
here's the
shouldn't.
thing, and you know what? We can't paint, and not only that, but Russell, it's pretty evident when it's out of when it's and this wasn't like, oh, there was like one that was out of joint. Russell, this went on for a couple miles.
What? I mean, what
I
is that?
This is what I'm saying to you. This was this and don't get me wrong, we had a good laugh as a family. I mean, we were down. It was
Do you
crazy.
think are these things laid down by a machine?
Yeah, yeah, yes, they are,
I
but
wonder if the
somebody is
thing
working
or the
machine.
thing was doing,
No, no, no,
was doing,
because it was at random intervals.
or maybe every now and then it
But
went out
here's
of
the thing, Russell,
whack.
how are you gonna if it's a machine, right? It
Yes.
doesn't just turn on its own.
Well, it shouldn't.
This is what I'm saying. I'm telling you, it's
Shouldn't.
yeah. So that is the rant for me to excellence out the
Okay.
window. We did
Yeah.
like it is rare, honestly, right now that you can find excellence in today. I mean, if you find somebody who does something with excellence, you better hold on to that person because
Yes.
it is a rare commodity in this day and age, and it is not something that you can go, hey, look, I found it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's my rant
Man, brother.
on the lack of excellence or the ability. I mean,
Well,
one of the funniest comments I heard about it though was, it'll make a Tesla crash. Teslas couldn't drive through there.
that's a good point. Or any of these vehicles,
Lane
modern
assist
vehicles with the
vehicles, yeah,
sensors in them, right? If that
exactly.
would whack going on, it'd be really
Oh yeah,
it'd freak them out, man.
absolutely. So anyway, but that's that rant. But you've in the news, we've been having I mean, major flooding in Texas, and you're
Yeah.
right near the flood zone. So how's that?
Yeah.
How are you guys faring?
Yeah, I'm on the northern part of San Antonio, which is roughly 50 miles from the Kerrville area. Well, where this happened, this was in Hunt, Texas. And interestingly enough, Hunt is a place where we used to, when I was in the Boy Scouts, we used to go camping up there a lot. So I do have some personal connection to the area beyond just the fact that we've gone through that area before on outings as an adult and all. But yeah, I'm sure most everybody that's watching this or listening to this podcast will know that there was a Camp Mystic, there's a girls' camp, and what happened there, and also that there were campers, and there are others that were just in that area that got swept away or buried. So what I'm seeing here, the latest numbers is at least 132 fatalities have so far been confirmed. And there's still 170 reported missing. And that those numbers may have been adjusted since I even looked at this because it's obviously the rescue efforts and the repair efforts and the responder efforts, they're all in process right now. Um, on the positive side, there has been just an enormous swell of support for those that are helping run rescue and recovery efforts there. Um, I know that Samaritan's Purse has had a very heavy involvement there. So has a Salvation Army of Kerrville in that area and a number of other entities. Churches have been involved. Um, and then just a lot of people, including from the San Antonio area here, have done everything they can from going up there to see what they can do to help. When I say help, it's digging through the rubble. It's taking uh, food and other necessities to the people who have been affected and also to people who are involved in the efforts. There are people who are, there's a lot of people, and not just here, but everywhere, actually. I mean, boy, people have just been wonderful, not only in Texas, but outside of Texas, uh, collecting money and sending it in for the rescue initiatives. And our governor, Greg Abbott, and our Texas government in general has responded well to it. And the federal government has responded well to it. So this has been a total quality effort. It happened quickly. It happened well. And things are on their way to recovery even now. And there's talk of full restoration in some places. So the real tragedy here is not the property. It's not the flooding of communities. The real tragedy is the loss of life and the just almost impossible way that people were unexpectedly beset upon by this gigantic wall of water that came through. Uh, what along starting about July 3rd and into
Yeah,
July
the
4th and
fourth,
then
yeah.
thereafter. So
And
yeah,
continuing on, so yeah, I'm looking at, and I've been, been watching the news and, um, and my wife is a weather bug, so she keeps up with a lot of stuff. And there's just been more flooding. It seems like it's just kind of, it seems like it's gone from Texas and it's gone to even some other places where there's
yeah,
just been all sorts of, um, flooding and things like that. So it feels like, just while Texas is digging out, not digging out, but kind of trying to come out of that devastation. Other places are getting rocked and other places are getting hit.
yes.
It's just and it's interesting to me again, and this may show my lack of knowledge of weather, I guess, but you would think in the summer would not necessarily, maybe it is the time for floods. I don't know, but um, I don't know. I
Well,
just,
no, 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 not around here. I mean,
yeah,
you've lived here before.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
So yeah, I just,
usually
it's
a
usually
major
dry.
dry, hot time
Yeah.
here. I mean,
So
we'll hit temperatures that are by the time we get to mid-July, which is where we are now,
yeah,
it's not unusual for us to be. I mean, we're almost certainly going to be in triple digits.
yeah,
And it has gotten into the, 108, 109,
yeah,
real feel 115, stuff like that,
yeah,
fairly commonly.
yeah.
So it's dry, just dry, dry,
Yeah, it's
dry.
a dry heat. Yeah.
We don't have one of the biggest problems we have here is our aquifer, because there has been such an influx of people coming to Texas and coming into this area, moving here. Our aquifer, its ability to sustain the water supply needs, and so we actually end up usually needing to import our San Antonio water systems. People here need to import water and be strategic in that regard normally. I guess we're not having much of that problem right now because
No.
the rains have been hitting San Antonio like crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I, I was making a notation the other day when I was outside. I don't like going outside usually during July and August because it's so hot and uncomfortable. But I was walking around outside going, it's really actually pretty comfortable here, and that's so unusual. So the weather events here and the weather situations have been very unusual
Yeah.
for South Central Texas
Well, it
for
seems like it's
sure.
just been nationwide. It's just been the weather's just been,
Yeah, it makes
I'm
you
gonna
wonder if
say
people
weird.
think people are monkeying around with it.
Look, I told somebody the other day, I said, I think the weather machine's broke. They need to fix it.
Is
It's
that what it
it's it's
is?
stuck on rain. You know what I'm saying? The whole conspiracy theory about making it. And again, we can get into that at some point, whether it's real or not. But I'm telling you right now, um, there's been proof that they can make it rain or do whatever at times. But whatever, maybe it's stuck on rain. I don't know, or
Yeah.
snow. That whole thing. But
Well,
you know,
I I got some numbers here. Kerr County so far, the count, and it's
yeah.
going to go up, has had 106 deaths.
No.
Travis County, 9. Kendall County, which is where Bernie in that area has been 8. Burnett County, 5. Williamson County, 3, and Tom Green County, 1 death. So that came as a result of the flooding. Um, there were just kind of on the good side of this. There were some of the major relief effort contributors, and I think it's worthy to name these: HEB,
Okay.
grocery store chain here; Walmart.
Oh,
I know you
Walmart.
had your rant on Walmart the last time, but
Look, hey,
here's
look.
the other side of the coin, so
The
to
other
speak.
side of the. Well, look, hey, you know what?
Um,
I'm gonna stick on. And I heard HEB. Let me just say that I
okay,
love.
all right.
We
Uh,
miss HEB. We love HEB. I wish HEB was here in the town we live in. It's not because it's a Texas chain, but
yeah,
my wife misses HEB a lot. So
yeah.
she loves HEB, man.
Yeah,
So.
there's not many grocery store chains run like HEB, that's for
No,
sure.
and hey, by the way, the produce there. I'm going to say something else, and we went to. I'm gonna again, we're gonna go off topic, stay on point,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm noticing.
we went to Gatlinburg yesterday, Tennessee, and we went to this place called the Donut Fryer. Okay, and we got a glazed croissant, and it is still nowhere near the croissant nut that is at HEB. Those things
Wow.
are out of sight. And in fact we were talking about HEB yesterday. We said it's really good. It's not HEB good, but it's close as you're going to find without going to HEB. We miss those. So for
Yeah.
all of you who've never been, or if you're in Texas and you go to an HEB, may I recommend if you can get them. Now, here's the problem. Everybody loves them. So as soon as they come out, everybody grabs them.
Yeah.
But if you can get a croissant, which is basically they make these very big, wonderfully just decadent croissants, but they do it in such a way that then they glaze them like
Yeah.
donuts, and they have this donutty flavor and glaze. It is just, I don't know how they do it. It's phenomenal. Russell, I'm actually trying to do it um, with sourdough to see if I can do a sourdough
If you
croissant
can
glaze on it.
kind of clone it or
If I
something.
can clone it, but again, they don't do theirs with sourdough, and I'm not sure sourdough is going to do that really nice sourdough tang. I don't know if that's going to go real well with glaze, but either way, but it's their croissant nuts
Well,
are it's a combination croissant and donut. It is by far one of the best things. We used to get them all the time. We'd get a dozen, and boy, I mean, we would just we would just ravage those things. They were so
let
good.
me let me translate that for y'all. Jessica, I better not go there. Never mind.
Well, no, you could say. I mean, Jess and the boys that eat each. Well, Jessica could probably eat one and a half, and then
One, that's what I was going to say,
one and one and a half.
and then the
The
boys
boys
that
that
probably
eat
split
two.
four or so between them,
Yeah,
and then Rob gets the rest.
that's
That's
right.
right.
So
Okay,
yeah,
so
no,
that's where I was
that's
going
it.
with it. I'm
Oh
thank you
yeah,
for
no,
rescuing me and just
no,
going
no,
ahead and
you're
saying it
fine.
anyway.
No, absolutely, it's no big
But
deal.
I'll
But
tell you, have you heard of I mean, since you're on the HEB
yeah.
uh, praise rant right now, sort of, have you heard of the True Texas Barbecue by HEB?
No, I have not.
Okay, so before I go there, I'll just say this: HEB's glazed donuts are virtually second to none. If you get them,
Yeah, no. Oh no, no.
oh my goodness,
Oh, they're great. Don't get me wrong. We
that
love those
HEB
too.
just is
Yeah.
amazing.
They just
They really
I
are in
miss
so many
Russell.
ways.
I gotta be honest. I can still in my mind. I know what I would like when we lived where we did. I still remember the aisles that things were on and walking, and it was just
Yeah,
it's
it's a
second to
pleasant
none. I mean,
adventure, right?
we enjoyed going to HEB. Now when we go to the store, it's like we gotta go to the store. Except for now, we've taken you to the one when you've come up, Hirschbergers. Well, I like going to Hirschbergers,
Yeah,
but it's
I
very
like going there
small.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's not another experience like going to HEB.
yeah.
HEB is just its own thing, and like whenever we come to Texas, we enjoy going to HEB, and the boys have fond memories of HEB as well. So.
And the superstores are
Oh,
really something
yeah.
else.
Actually, now Jess has a when she would talk, she would say she did not because she'll get overwhelmed. She's like, I like she liked the regular HEB that we had by
Yeah,
our house. The
yeah.
superstore, which is like, it's just too much. I don't want to, and so she was like, let's just go to the regular
Boy, but it
HEB.
increases your options.
Oh,
That one
hey,
at the
now.
Alon Market and the
Oh,
Jewish Community
yeah.
Center.
That was the one. Now, see, we lived over in the Alon Market. She loved that one
Well,
because
yeah, because
but it
you
wasn't
could get
this.
stuff for Passover and all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was
So,
we love that one. That one's so phenomenal.
yeah, I wanted to put a plug in for their other donuts and especially the glaze because I'm a
Yes.
glazed kind of guy if I'm
Oh yeah.
having donuts.
Oh yeah.
Um, the Yeah, there's a thing called True Texas Barbecue, which
Okay.
is some of the big stores now
Right.
have those built in, and it's a little restaurant that's attached to
Oh, okay.
HEB that is its own restaurant, and there's different kinds of barbecue that you can get. And Rob, I'm telling you, it's some of the best barbecue in Texas, of course, and it's right there at HEB. So
Nice.
if y'all ever make your way back to San Antonio, we're gonna have to go.
Yeah, we'll have to
We'll have
definitely
to
go.
go.
Yeah, we've been talking. The boys have actually asked if we're gonna be able to get back, and so we may have to try to get back there. We went
Yeah.
to Montana, so now we'll have to maybe make it down a little farther
Okay, now go
south.
in the
So
other direction and come
yeah,
here. Yes.
a little farther
And
south. So
we will go to Texas,
yeah,
True Texas barbecue, brother. I
absolutely.
guarantee you will love it. So anyway, back to the list here. So
Yeah. Sorry.
HEB, let's don't go on the rant again, but
No, no, no. Well,
HEB
yeah.
and Walmart are two of the major contributors to the flood initiative uh, the flood relief initiative. Another one is Airbnb. That one surprised me a little bit,
Yeah, that does surprise me a little bit, but
but
I mean,
they were a major contributor.
Mazel tov to
Uh,
them.
and yeah, and World Central Kitchen.
Okay.
and then Operation Airdrop, which doesn't surprise me, and
No.
they always do good stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, Samaritan's Purse.
Okay.
Those are the major ones, and then there's a whole lot of other minor, there's churches and other ministries that are involved here. So, in addition to the governmental efforts, so there has just been a great response to this, for which we're very thankful, of course.
Yeah, and in fact, there's another one we work with up here. It's called God's Pit Crew. They're heading down to Texas as well.
Oh, the
And they
Cajun Navy, brother, the
that's it.
Cajun
The
Navy.
Cajun
That's
Navy as
something.
well. Yeah. Jessica
Yeah,
was telling me about that one. But God's Pit Crew, they go down and they rebuild homes, they rebuild schools.
yeah,
So they're heading down to Texas as well. So they, in fact, I just in our the church that we're affiliated with, the guy who basically started God's Pit Crew now runs it, and it's huge now.
okay,
Um, they just loaded up the semis and they're headed to Texas. So
very good.
yeah,
No,
so
we
they're headed
we
down that way.
appreciate it.
Yeah, so so God's Pit Crew's going down there as well. So they should I think they're actually en route. So yeah, so that's the yeah, so again, it just what I do notice again is it seems like, and again, it's these major corporations. That's phenomenal. What I've noticed, and it's kind of like up here where I live in the smaller towns in Texas. Texas people are just they're built different. They're not waiting for help. They're just going, hey, look, we got it. We're going to
Yeah,
start. And then what ends
no,
up
that's
happening is you see the best of the church community, the
yeah,
believers saying, this is our chance to be the hands and feet extended of the Lord, and let's go ahead and help our neighbors. And you see people just kind
yes.
of, how can I help you? What can I do? Let me grab a chainsaw. Let me grab a rake. Let me grab a shovel. Let me put on some gloves. Let me just, roll up my sleeves and work side by side with you. And, and grieving with people and, hugging people and just talking with people and stuff like that. It just seems to me you see the best of people and you'll also see sometimes the worst of people in these situations. But
But we haven't here.
that's, yeah. And
We
in
have
this, it's,
not here
yeah.
in
And
this
that's
initiative.
great. And
It's
that's,
really been quite a phenomenal response. And you're exactly right. That is the Texas way. I
yeah.
know there's a lot of stereotyping that goes on out there in some of the other states, and they can have their fun with that if they want to, but we know what the truth is here.
Yeah. And I've been
We
there.
don't all wear cowboy hats. We don't all wear spurs.
That's it.
We don't
That's it.
we don't all sing the stars at night or big and bright deep in the heart of Texas like was on Pee Wee Herman,
That's
that
right.
movie from several decades back,
That's
and
that's
et
right.
cetera. We don't all say howdy and y'all and those sorts of things.
Right.
And so there's just quite a variety of people, and
There's
you're right, the church community has responded well, but then really just Texans in general. And
yeah.
I'm going to reach out beyond Texas and say a lot of our brothers and sisters from other parts of the country
Yeah. Well,
have
I
have and are doing, and you just indicated that,
yeah.
or have and are doing a whole lot to help. Matter of fact, there's so much help, Rob. Some of us, and myself included, we were looking for ways to organize and go ourselves, because I want to go and help
Yeah.
with this physically, tangibly. And they're
Sure.
saying, please, there's too many people, not
Not enough room to help. Yeah.
send us help in the form of donations,
Right.
send water, send boots, because people have to go digging through the mud and stuff,
Yeah.
send those kinds of things. And so that's how people are helping right now, for the most part, that are not already there.
Right.
Of course,
Well,
there's still organized efforts like the one you described, that
yeah.
they will be able to go and do some things because they're specialized.
It's
But
specialized. Yeah. And they give
your average John and Jane Doe out there,
well, and
uh,
see, the interesting thing is like with God's Pit Crew, they will go and they'll help rebuild, but what they also do is they bring in because they have diesels, big rigs. The big rigs come in with the building material, but they also come in with water, but they also have what are called blessing buckets. And so basically what's in the blessing buckets is like essentials for the next week.
yeah,
So that you'll get a bucket, it'll have food, it'll have, water, not water because they bring just cases and pallets of water, but just these blessing buckets, and it has essentials for you for survival, laundry detergent or clothes, stuff that you need, and really a
yes,
lot of food kind of like prepackaged and things that you can just eat and stuff like that. And it's really they come and when that God's Pit Crew big rig shows up, people know, and it really is a blessing. And then they really will take a project. And if you've ever seen Extreme Home Makeover, It's in a way, or that where they do that stuff. It's really kind of like that because they'll go find, and it's not just something. It might be somebody's house. It might be like they did a school. At one point, they actually just rebuilt the school so the kids could get back into school. They did a whole school, and they did it in like 3 weeks. Um,
Uh-huh.
so it
Wow.
wasn't like, yes, this will take 6 months and we're gonna, they did it, and then they were working like not around the clock. We always say around the clock. I mean, they slept. Don't get me
Right.
wrong, but
Right.
they started early in the morning. They went till late at night, and then they slept. And I mean, they got, and these people, they some of them work for God's pit crew, but a lot of them are volunteers that take off and they say, hey, I'm going to take my vacation. This is my vacation, and I'm going to go do this. And they're kind of those, and I don't want to call them first responders because I don't want to do any disservice or disrespect to actual first responders, but they're disaster responders. I think that's probably a better term. Is there's a disaster, there needs to be a response, and a specialized response, and so they are responding to the disaster, and then they go. So um
All
that's what
right.
that's what
Well,
they do.
that's that's my report from here South Central Texas as far as the flood situation is going as of today. So you asked for it and you got it.
Well, I'm glad everybody's okay. And well, let me rephrase that. I'm glad that everybody in your household is okay and that you're doing well. And
Yeah.
we are,
We were never in any real danger here in San Antonio.
yeah. But
We just got really wet
well, and
and so hard.
for those that have experienced loss or damage, we always continue to keep them
Yeah.
in prayer.
Yeah.
So, but no, we we're glad you're good, and we're glad everybody that is connected to you is doing okay. And again, reiterating, we want to continue to pray for those who have lost loved ones or who have lost valuables and property or homes or whatever. We continue to pray for them, and work toward helping with those efforts to rebuild. So
Yeah,
um,
and I would recommend if people want to help, they can go to the Samaritan's Purse website.
yeah,
That's about as good a place as you can go to get
yeah,
monetary help there.
yeah,
So is
absolutely.
there any other topics? If we go off this one, is there another one you want to go on to, or have we kind of done what we came to do tonight?
No, I think you know what? I think if we go on to another topic, I think I want to personally, I think I'd like to end it there. And here's why.
Yes.
We want to make sure that we give proper re importance to the fact of everybody who's experienced that loss in the uh, experienced loss in those floods. And I don't want to go off onto another topic. And I know you don't
Right.
either. I think I don't want it to be somber, but I also don't want it to be cliche
Well,
and then quippy either. You know what
we
I'm
also
saying?
don't
So,
want to keep going for an hour or more because that's not
no.
how long this podcast is supposed to go for.
No, exactly. So, no, but let's just end it there, and we'll get back together next week and see what new topics present themselves, and we'll do that. So, with that, we'll close, and we want to remind you that you don't always have to stay on topic, but please remember to always be on
On point.
point. Thank you, and have a great day. If you'd like to email us, you can just like and comment below. If you'd like to email us, you can always do that at otopnow@gmail.com, and we will try to make sure that we respond to you. Again, thank you for listening, and we will see you on the next episode. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you for listening today to Off Topic On Point. We want to remind you of our email address if you'd like to contact us. It's otopnow@gmail.com. That's otopnow@gmail.com. And as always, we want to leave you with this. It's okay to be off topic. Just make sure you're always on point. All right. We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye-bye.